So as an introverted person, I've been struggling with this quite specific problem for a long time, and I don't know if other people get this, where midway through a conversation, midway through the night, or at some kind of social event where I'm expected to keep on talking, like I can't just go home, my social energy just seems to plummet out of nowhere. I could go from like here, like having a good time, enjoying whatever conversation this is, to suddenly just being like levels below everyone else in terms of energy. Like suddenly I'm in this mode where I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't even want to make eye contact with anyone. Maybe I'm feeling like more anxious. It's much harder to think of what to say next. And it always comes at the most inappropriate time. Like I used to have this when I was younger, when I first started going to parties. And that was already like a very anxiety inducing thing for me because I didn't come from that kind of life when I was younger. It was only as I started making friends throughout high school that like would bring me along to cool things with like the cool people that I really began to experience that and going along to these parties and meeting lots of new people. And even though I was nervous and very shy, I'd actually say I was pretty good at introducing myself. And I'd come across well when my friends would introduce me to other people. And I'd meet like some cool people and I'd get into some good conversations. And I'd think, oh, this is going well. But then I just hit this slump. I hit this slump where I lose all my energy and just will to socialize. I think people call this like a social battery, when your social battery is depleted, and it's quite common with introverted people. And yeah, this would happen at the worst times because I feel like I'd suddenly just become the most boring version of myself. I might have shown like an interest in this person before, and suddenly it gets like a little bit awkward, and that's because of me. I've kind of killed the conversation, or worst case, people end up thinking like I'm a little bit rude. Like I could have been having a pretty decent conversation with someone, and then the next thing you know, I've slipped out the door and just gone home. Like I've just given up because like that's how incompatible I feel with this environment right now. And I still occasionally get this, but the thing is, every time my social battery gets depleted now, I understand what is causing it. I understand the mindset which causes your social battery to deplete. And I also know what to do to immediately restore it. Like even if it's just like a little bit, I know how to give myself that little spark back that can make me at least want to kind of stick it out a little bit longer. So the reason our social battery depletes, the thing that makes it deplete faster than anything else, is when our nervous system, when our body is in fight or flight mode. So the thing is that a lot of people didn't realize, like this is what I was experiencing. Your social battery depends on how safe you feel in a given environment. Like the example I'd always use is around my closest friends, like my closest friends in the whole world. Does your social battery even exist around those people? Maybe it does for some people, but for me, I could hang out with my best friends for probably like 10 hours straight. Maybe I get a little bit tired towards the end, but I wouldn't say my social battery drains because I'm having such a good time. We're laughing, we're making jokes, we feel like we just understand each other. Like we feel completely calm and we trust one another. Like there's nothing there that makes me feel like I have to like do too much or start performing or trying to impress people. And as a result, I feel like I can keep going for hours. But around people who we don't know that well, like me at these parties, on some level, on some subconscious level, I want to impress those people. I'm meeting them for the first time. Naturally, I want them to like me. I want to be one of the cool people. I even get this now. Like I want to be liked and to come across in a certain way. I want to be admired by new people. But that creates this heightened expectation for me. Like I need to try a bit harder to win this person's approval. I need to say the right thing. I need to convince them of my worth. And that signals to my body. Like I'm not going to say everyone's consciously aware of this because this is something we do automatically, but there's something going on in your body when you try and do that that tells you, if I need to impress this person, that means they're someone whose approval that like I need to win. In other words, they're maybe like a bit better than me, or maybe not even that. There's just this kind of like very subtle framing there, like this is someone whose approval I should care about. Like that's the way I put it. I need them to approve of me because I wouldn't be able to handle the other option there, which is like, what if they don't? What if they don't accept me? What if they reject me? You see what I'm talking about? So that set of circumstances, like this hidden desire to win their approval, that puts your body on guard. That makes you feel like you can't totally be yourself. You're almost performing on some level. And you think, if I mess this up, then there's going to be some kind of negative consequence or emotional pain. So your body is putting you in fight or flight because there's a sense of danger that it can like sense, basically. There's danger and your body feels like it needs to protect you from something. And this is just how the survival response in our body works, like our amygdala, which scans for threats in our environment. If a threat is detected, your body's not focused on how you're coming across. Are you coming across as energetic or interested in the other person? Your nervous system doesn't care about like how charismatic or funny you are. It cares about keeping you safe. And if your body believes that there's some kind of threat here, it's going to put you in fight or flight mode. And what fight or flight mode does is it stimulates that like adrenaline response, that like anxiety pumping through your body. And not only does that make it harder for you to think like what to say next, because it shuts down like the creative centers of your brain, the things responsible for like creativity and humor and thinking of what to say next. Scientifically, it wears you out even more. It literally makes you tired because it's like, it's giving you this like short burst of energy. You're either going to fight or run away from this situation, but it's designed for this like short burst of energy to like help you resolve whatever the threat is. After that, you're just going to crash. And that's what would happen to me every time. I had no idea that this was what was going on. It all comes down to me feeling like this expectation on myself to like impress these people. So the only way I've found to resolve this so far that like actually works in the moment, because there's ways of calming your nervous system down, like deep breathing. But for me, it's like, what am I going to start like doing sets of like deep breaths, like in and out, like in through the mouth, out, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in the middle of a conversation? No, because I'm going to look like a fucking weirdo. But there's one way that I found to get out of this kind of like frame of mind where I'm trying to impress other people. And it's, instead of trying to win their approval, it's asking myself this question. It's asking myself, how can I make this moment as fun as possible for myself? What can I do or say in this moment which is going to restore that energy, like make this more fun for me? Because again, going back to what I said about my friends, I don't feel like I have to perform around them because we're having a good time, because it's fun. And fun energizes you. When you're laughing, that restores your social battery. For me in general, I think I can get onto some quite boring conversation topics with people, and that comes from me trying to be polite because I'm showing an interest in them. But That's not to say they're not interesting, but occasionally, just out of politeness, the both of us get onto like kind of a stale conversation. Like it could be small talk, like, oh, what do you do for work? Neither of us really want to talk about that, but we're just being polite. So what I'll do is I'll intentionally steer the conversation towards something I'm passionate about, something I know I can have fun about. Because when you're having fun, they end up having fun as well. It's this thing called the law of state transference. Whatever mood, whatever energy state you're in, ends up transferring to the other person. If you're having legitimate fun, and you're passionately talking about something and you're enthusiastic, the other person can't help but feel that. Even if they have like no idea what this particular thing is about, if you're coming with that like genuine, authentic energy that you can't fake, that comes from talking about something that you really love, they can't help but feel the same thing. It all comes from having genuine fun. Like another way of doing this is just thinking about what makes me laugh. Like in this moment, even if it's the dumbest thing I could possibly say, some random dumb thought that comes into my head, like a funny observation or just some joke that either does or doesn't fit the moment, I'm going to say it because I'm kind of just this person who, I kind of view life as like a bit of a comedy. Like, you know how you have those moments in your life where there's no one else around and you just see something funny and you'll laugh to yourself. Like you don't care that no one's around, you laugh because it was funny. I kind of apply that thinking just to life in general, and that extends to my conversations. If something funny comes into my head, I'll just say it. Like I feel like that's normal. And by doing that, by making silly jokes and talking about things that I find like really interesting, and obviously conversation's two-way as well, so don't go like too far in one direction, but you probably know what I mean. By doing that, I'm having the most fun possible. I'm restoring my social energy so I can keep going for longer. And it's going to make the other person laugh and have a good time. This is one of those things that it won't fully sink in until you try it for yourself, but this is the best way I've found to restore your social energy when you're feeling drained. Take care, man.